Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video I'll be reviewing the new 2025 Mercedes G Wagon. They've added quite a few improvements to this new model year. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Mercedes-Benz of downtown Salt Lake for giving me some time with this G550. As of me filming this video, this particular one is available for sale, so if you're looking for a new G550, link to the inventory in the description down below. They also have a bunch of G63s, by the way, so if you're looking for that, they also have that. Just ask for Dylan if you have any questions. Link to my car buying guide as well. Let's get into it. Powering this new G550 is a turbocharged 3-liter inline-6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, one of the big benefits of this over the V8 is going to be fuel economy. It's now 17 around town and then 19 on the highway. That's up from the 14-16 on the previous gen. Power outputs are 443 horsepower and then 413 pound-feet of torque, so more horsepower but a little bit less torque. We'll see how it drives later. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So there are some slight exterior changes to this new 550, but there's also a lot of carryover. So we still, of course, have the cool turn signal indicators there on the top in normal G-Wagon fashion. And then this one has the blackout package. You can see the brush guards blacked out, the lights are blacked out, Mercedes-Benz logo. Now, if you look at the bumper here at the bottom, this has been updated a little bit, so it's a bit different compared to the previous gen in terms of the shape and all of that. And I know this is a G63, but you can kind of see the difference with the overall shape of the bumper on this new 550. And yeah, that's the front. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 275 by 50 by 20 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see with these wheels, you've got the silver there, center's all blacked out, and then you just have regular street tires on this one. And then notice how the bumper is blacked out, and that continues to the fender flares and then the side steps as well. And then this is cool, that blacked out trim piece with the kind of like white accenting. And then notice the mirror cap's blacked out, and this is interesting. I wonder if this is like a high traffic area for rock chips and so they just made it exposed like that. Not sure on that, but there's your full side view. Still looks like a G-Wagon. That being the entry level, we've got Mercedes entry level key fob, and so lock and unlock function, pretty straightforward. And the G-Wagon still has the beautiful door sounds, and this one's pretty fancy with the quilting here in the back. We've also got a cargo cover here in the back as well, and you still have this kind of like raised section here on either side that's carpeted. But yeah, pretty dang spacious. And just listen to the closing sound. Beautiful. You've got the updated taillights for the new generation G-Wagon, and then you can see here with the bumper blacked out, and then a spare tire carrier around the ring is also blacked out as well. And yeah, still looks like a G-Wagon. Now this is a big change. Keyless entry now on the G-Wagon, so you still get the same door, but keyless entry now. Now take a look at the door panel. Again, really nice trim here. You can see down below with all the stitching and then the wood trim with this one. Speaker here for the Burmester sound system. Heated seats for the back passengers. And then here are these seats. Got the interesting headrest. But yeah, really cool design down the center. And then AMG there on the floor mats. Quickly pop into, you guys can see space here. So pretty good legroom. Got a little storage pocket. Vents here in the back. We also have our own climate zone as well. And then being a G-Wagon, you've got good headroom because it's a box. Now taking a look at the front door panel, you can see really nice trim here at the top. We've got all of our window controls, mirror adjustments. The mirrors do power fold in. Got blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And again, that same kind of like quilted design down below with the wood trim here. All of our adjustments on these seats, they are memory with the functionality too. Heated and cooled seats with this particular one. I'm interested to see the payload on this. So, gross vehicle weight rating 7,000. Oh, here we go, 1256. I'll compare that to the previous gen just to see. But anyways, here are the front seats. Nice trim. And then you can see with the pedals down below, pretty fancy looking. Got our light controls here. And then I like this on the dash. It's kind of like gray with the coloration. It looks pretty cool. So taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see nice trim all around, perforated on either side. We have paddle shifters here on the back. Practical controls in the front. So this is for the infotainment system. This is like your volume, voice command control, phone control section. Cruise control over here, that is for the center gauge cluster. And then you have the traditional stock setup here with the column shifter. Now we've got a new digital gauge cluster here. So if you've seen other new Mercedes-Benz models, then you're gonna recognize this right off the bat. But this is new for the G Wagon. And look at this, the 550 finally has a 360 camera. This is one of the downsides about getting a 550 over a 63 was the fact that you only had a backup camera with the previous gen, but now we got a 360 camera system, so that's a big improvement. And then the infotainment system is now a touchscreen. You still have the keypad and the steering wheel control for it, but it's now a touchscreen. It wasn't before, so another big change. It's cool how they insert the wood trim there. You can see on the grab handle here on the dash, and then again, nice trim on the dash. Pretty straightforward with the glove box there. And then we've got a couple of vents here in the center, and then we of course have all of our off-road stuff. Now I think this is cool that they put all the off-road stuff in one place rather than having some of the controls down here like before. Still have the drive mode select down here, by the way, which you can see different drive modes. We've got a trail mode now and a rock mode. Man, they're really sprucing things up. Anyways, we still have the 3 locking differentials with this, and then you've got the off-road cockpit. I'll show that in a second. And then we've got low range, so it still has a two-speed transfer case. But this is cool. It shows you all the off-road stuff. So it seems like they're going a little bit deeper into the off-road like tech rather than just keeping it old school like they did before. Now these improvements do come at a cost. The base MSRP of a G550 is now $148,250, so I think it's like $5,000 more. This one does have quite a few options added to it. Exclusive interior plus, that's one of the big ones. Anyways, $173,900 is the total MSRP on this particular G550, and let's see how it drives. Well, new G550. Guess we'll check the visibility around. It's the same as before, so it's really good. The G Wagon's a box, and it has big windows, so it's easy to see out of. I am fascinated. I'm intrigued by this new G550 with the inline 6. Because I'm wondering if this is going to lose the G-Wagon character, you know? Because the G-Wagon's known for being a rugged, V8, boxy, off-road, military-style SUV, and this still has most of that, but it doesn't have a V8 anymore, so it's a big difference. So initially setting off, this drives nice. Now, something to note, the G-Wagon is not a luxury vehicle. I think that people forget that. Like, yes, it's got a luxury interior and everything, but ultimately, this is a utility vehicle, right? This is built for military use, and, well, we just happen to have a civilian version because rich people love to have stuff like this, right? It's cool, right? Military vehicles are the coolest vehicles because they can do crazy off-roading. Why is this person crossing? Because they can do crazy off-roading and they look cool. And so yeah, it's a fun setup, that's for sure. So what I'll say is I'm not noticing really a big difference in terms of how this drives compared to the previous, quote-unquote, previous version of the G-Wagon. It seems like it drives pretty much the same. So ride quality, when I say drive, ride quality and all of that, I am noticing a substantial difference in the engine performance. So the auto stop start in this is way more aggressive than the auto stop start system in the V8. It's Mercedes' new system where it'll kind of like stop as you're coming to a stop, like as you're rolling, it'll sometimes shut off. So it's just it's a different system overall, which, you know, I'm thinking that's probably part of the way that they've been able to get better fuel economy with this. I want to get another acceleration. This other road up here will be better for that, but yeah, it doesn't have the same torquey feel. And it makes sense, right? It doesn't have as much torque on paper. It's got more horsepower. It does have more horsepower, but it does not have as much torque. And generally speaking, whenever you go to a smaller displacement engine, fewer cylinders. Even if the engines have the same exact power, the bigger engine, bigger displacement, more cylinders always just feels like it's got more punch. Feels like, even though you literally could have same horsepower and same torque, and it always feel that way. But yeah, overall, I mean, so far, I think it drives pretty nice on the low end. I like the torque of the V8 a bit more. Again, we'll see here. Kind of get on it a bit. Hate this road so much, but you know. Yeah. Okay. It's a good engine. It's great for an inline six. I'm just gonna be honest, I don't think it fits the G Wagon. I really don't. Yeah, I think the 4-liter V8, again, this really just comes down to emissions. The 4-liter V8 for the G Wagon is objectively a better engine. It makes more sense. The torque, it just drives better. This inline six is a great engine. And so in isolation, if you just drove this, you'd be like, this drives well. And it sounds pretty, it's obviously not a V8 with the sound, but it doesn't sound horrible, right? Sounds pretty good. Mercedes inline six. Inline six, they got a nice deep tone to them for a 6-cylinder. But yeah, driving it back to back with a G550, and you're like, I'd rather have the 4-liter V8. So yeah, I'll be interested to see how well this new generation G550 does, but my personal guess, this is just my guess, I think the Mercedes G-Wagon sales are going to look like this, where they're going to stay the same, but then when you look at the split, before, you know, like, it's always been more people buy G63s compared to G550s, but I think with this new generation, I don't think I mean, there'll be a few people who buy G550s, but I think it's pretty much going to go from like slightly more G63s to more 550s to basically almost no 550s, and everyone's going to buy a 63 because a 63 still has the V8. Everyone wants a 63 anyways. So I don't think this is going to be bad for Mercedes. I think part of me thinks that Mercedes did this not because of emissions, but to make it so they could just sell more 63s. Mercedes is basically printing money. So that's the new 550, folks.